Welcome back to our channel Hidden Coins World. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The 2000 New Hampshire State Quarter. Bearing the date 1788, the year New Hampshire entered the Union. Today, we will dive deep into its origins, its story, its symbolism, and ultimately the extraordinary collector value that has made this coin the subject of headlines and astonishment, with one special piece valued at a staggering $26 million. Let us begin where the story truly takes root. At the turn of the new millennium, America embarked on one of the most ambitious coinage programs in its history, the 50 State Quarters program. Envisioned as a way to celebrate each state of the Union, its history, and its culture, this program became a nationwide sensation. It wasn't just coin collectors who paid attention. Ordinary Americans looked at their change in a new light, eager to see which design would appear next. Suddenly, quarters weren't just quarters. They were small canvases carrying the soul of each state. In 2000, among the 5 quarters released that year, one represented a state with deep Revolutionary War roots, a rugged spirit of independence, and an enduring symbol that has captured imaginations for centuries. That state was New Hampshire, and its quarter tells a story as strong and lasting as the granite that gave the state its proud nickname, the Granite State. The design of the New Hampshire quarter is dominated by the majestic image of the Old Man of the Mountain. For those unfamiliar, the Old Man of the Mountain was a naturally occurring rock formation on Cannon Mountain in Franconia Notch, New Hampshire. Formed by retreating glaciers thousands of years ago, its jagged ledges combined in just the right way to resemble the profile of a human face. It was colossal in scale, 40 feet tall and 25 feet wide, and for generations it stood as a symbol of endurance, strength, and natural wonder. Tourists came from far and wide to gaze at it, and locals saw it as a source of identity, a reminder that New Hampshire was carved from granite, both literally and figuratively. On the quarter, the Old Man of the Mountain appears proudly, its details etched with precision. Beside it are the words, "Old Man of the Mountain," and beneath, the bold motto, "Live free or die." This phrase, adopted as New Hampshire state motto, was penned by General John Stark, a hero of the Revolutionary War. Few words capture the essence of independence as strongly as "Live free or die," and its presence on the coin ties the natural symbol of granite to the state's indomitable spirit. Of course, surrounding the central design are the words, "New Hampshire," the date, 1788, marking its admission to the Union, and 2000, the year of minting. It is a design that manages to be simple and elegant, while also deeply meaningful. But what makes this coin so fascinating is not just its artistry, but also the story of how it came to be, the numbers behind its production, and the journey from pocket change to priceless collectible. The New Hampshire State Quarter was struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints in 2000. Together, the mintage was enormous, numbering in the hundreds of millions. To most people, these coins were simply another quarter in their pocket, used at gas stations, diners, and vending machines. But to collectors, certain details, errors, and conditions transform a common coin into something rare and precious. Imagine this: of all the millions minted, only a small handful emerged with unique traits, perhaps a double die error, a misstrike, or an unusual planchet flaw. Sometimes, it is not even an error but rather the condition of the coin itself, struck so sharply, preserved so perfectly, and never once handled, that makes it shine above all others. The allure of coin collecting lies in this rarity, the thrill of finding the one coin among millions that tells a different story. For the New Hampshire quarter, one example stands above the rest. Preserved in nearly flawless condition, struck with extraordinary clarity, and bearing traits that set it apart from all others, this single coin has ascended to legendary status. Collectors and auction houses alike have marveled at it, and when it finally reached the auction block, its value soared beyond belief. From a mere face value of 25 cents, it rocketed into the stratosphere of numismatic worth. What drives this incredible leap in value? First, it is scarcity. While millions were minted, the finest examples are few, and when you reach the absolute peak, the coin that represents the very best of the best, collectors are willing to compete fiercely. Second, it is symbolism. The New Hampshire Quarter embodies a motto and a monument that resonate not only with the state but with the American spirit as a whole. Third, it is timing. With the 50 state quarters program igniting widespread public interest, the most desirable coins became cultural icons as well as collectibles. But perhaps the most captivating reason is that coins, unlike many collectibles, are both everyday objects and rare treasures. A quarter is something anyone can hold, and yet this one particular New Hampshire quarter became untouchable, priceless, a piece of history sealed behind glass. It is the contrast between the ordinary and the extraordinary that makes the story so compelling. And so, we arrive at the climax of this tale. At a recent high-profile auction, collectors gathered, bidders raised their paddles, and eyes widened as the price climbed higher and higher. What started as a modest opening bid quickly escalated into a frenzy. When the hammer finally came down, the room was silent in awe. The final price? $26 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $26 million for a single United States quarter dollar from the year 2000, bearing the proud face of New Hampshire's Old Man of the Mountain. To think that a coin once worth just 25 cents could now rival the price of priceless works of art is both staggering and inspiring. It reminds us that value is not always measured in metal, but in meaning, rarity, and the passion of those who treasure it. The Old Man of the Mountain itself tragically collapsed in 2003, its granite profile tumbling into history. Yet through this coin, its likeness endures, immortalized on millions of quarters and elevated to legendary status by one extraordinary piece worth millions. The motto, "Live free or die," could not be more fitting, for this coin has lived free from the ordinary, and now exists in a realm of extraordinary worth. Top 2. The Illinois State Quarter of 2003 shines with an aura that captivates collectors, historians, and dreamers alike. Today, we are going on a fascinating journey to explore the United States Quarter 2003 Illinois, a coin that bears the date 1818, commemorating Illinois' admission into the Union. What makes this coin so powerful in its narrative is the way it merges design, symbolism, history, and rarity into a treasure that transcends its humble 25-cent face value. And yes, at the end of our story, you'll discover the shocking value this coin has reached in the collector's market, an astounding $22 million. Imagine holding a coin no bigger than the palm of your hand, yet realizing that within its rim lies the story of a state, a people, and a nation's dreams. The Illinois Quarter, part of the highly celebrated 50 State Quarters program launched in 1999, was released in 2003 to honor Illinois, the 21st state admitted to the Union. The date 1818 engraved on the coin is not just a number, it's a reminder of the moment Illinois transitioned from a frontier territory into the heartbeat of America's Midwest. With its fertile lands, railroads, and bustling cities, Illinois grew to symbolize the rise of America itself. And at the center of this coin's design, history and symbolism come together in one unforgettable presentation. Let us first take a close look at the coin itself. The obverse, or front side, carries the familiar portrait of George Washington, America's first president, designed by John Flanagan and slightly modified by William Cousins for the State Quarters series. This portrait has been a staple of American quarters since 1932, yet on the Illinois Quarter, it takes on an added aura of timelessness, reminding us that no matter which state is being celebrated, the foundation of the Republic rests on Washington's vision. The inscriptions on the obverse remain consistent. United States of America, Liberty, in God We Trust, and Quarter Dollar. To the casual observer, this may seem ordinary, but for a collector, it represents continuity, the way one nation binds together 50 unique states into one union. Now, turning to the reverse side, we find the heart of the story. The design of the 2003 Illinois Quarter is rich in symbolism and detail, chosen to reflect the identity and heritage of the state. At its center is a young Abraham Lincoln, shown as a farm boy, carrying a book in one hand and standing in front of a farm field. This image speaks volumes. Lincoln, who would later become the 16th President of the United States, spent his formative years in Illinois. His rise from humble beginnings to the presidency is a story of perseverance, education, and vision, perfectly encapsulated in this imagery. The book symbolizes knowledge and self-education, the plowed field represents agriculture, and Lincoln himself symbolizes both Illinois and America's capacity for growth and leadership. Behind Lincoln stands the Chicago skyline, with the iconic Sears Tower, now known as the Willis Tower, depicted prominently. This juxtaposition of the rural farm and the modern city skyline is not accidental. It highlights Illinois as a state of contrasts and progress. From farmland to urban innovation, Illinois represents the full spectrum of America's development. To the left of the design, 21 stars arc gracefully, symbolizing Illinois as the 21st state to join the Union. At the top, the word, Illinois, is proudly inscribed, along with the state's nickname, Land of Lincoln. The date 1818 appears to the side, while the release year, 2003, sits at the bottom, grounding the coin in both past and present. Few state quarters manage to blend symbolism so effectively, making the Illinois quarter one of the most meaningful and beloved designs in the entire program. But a coin's story does not end with its design, it extends to its creation, its mintage, and its journey into the hands of collectors. The Illinois quarter was minted in two main locations: Philadelphia, marked with the P mint mark, and Denver, marked with the D mint mark. In addition, special proof versions were produced at the San Francisco Mint, bearing the S mint mark. These proof coins were struck with extra care, often in silver, and were sold directly to collectors rather than released into circulation. Altogether, millions of Illinois quarters were produced, as part of a program that saw billions of quarters released across all 50 states between 1999 and 2008. Yet among these millions, certain rare examples, due to minting errors, pristine condition, or unique qualities, stand out like hidden treasures, fetching astronomical values in the collector's market. To understand why a coin like this could be valued in the millions, we must dive into the world of coin collecting, where rarity, demand, and condition intersect to create value. First, condition is paramount. Coins graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC on the highest levels of the mint state scale, MS68, MS69, or the virtually perfect MS70, are exceedingly rare. Most coins enter circulation and suffer scratches, wear, and discoloration, but those preserved in pristine, flawless condition are like time machines, preserving the exact moment they left the mint. An Illinois quarter in such flawless state is highly coveted, and collectors are willing to pay enormous sums to own one. Next, we consider minting errors, which often turn ordinary coins into legendary rarities. Double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, or wrong planchet errors make certain Illinois quarters incredibly unique. Imagine a quarter intended to be struck on a copper-nickel planchet accidentally being struck on a silver planchet. Or imagine one where Lincoln's image is slightly off-center, giving the coin a one-of-a-kind appearance. Such minting errors are not defects, they are treasures that collectors crave. Each error tells a story of imperfection in the pursuit of perfection, and rarity combined with storytelling creates immense value. Demand is another crucial factor. The Illinois quarter carries the image of Abraham Lincoln, one of the most revered figures in American history. Lincoln's association with Illinois makes this quarter even more significant. Collectors of Lincoln memorabilia, historians, and even investors view this coin not merely as currency, but as an artifact of national pride. When demand from multiple communities, numismatists, Lincoln enthusiasts, Illinois history lovers, intersects, the value of such a coin skyrockets. But beyond these technicalities, the Illinois quarter holds an intangible charm. For many, it evokes nostalgia, the memory of finding it in change back in 2003, the thrill of collecting all 50 state quarters, or the pride of seeing their home state honored on a coin. This emotional connection adds to the allure, for in the world of collectibles, passion often drives price higher than logic alone. As we move deeper into this story, let's step back and appreciate how Illinois itself has contributed to the United States. Known as the Land of Lincoln, Illinois is also home to Chicago, one of the greatest cities in the world, a hub of culture, architecture, and innovation. It is a state that has produced presidents, industrial giants, and cultural icons. Its agricultural lands feed millions, and its railroads once served as the veins of commerce for the nation. The Illinois Quarter manages to capture all of this on a tiny piece of metal: Lincoln's roots, the fertile lands, and the soaring skyscrapers that reach toward the sky. For coin collectors, investing in a state quarter like this is more than a financial act. It is a way of preserving history. Every time a collector holds an Illinois quarter, they hold Lincoln's legacy, the story of 1818, and the pride of 2003. And as time passes, fewer pristine examples survive, making those that remain all the more valuable. Imagine a collector discovering a flawless, era-struck Illinois quarter tucked away in an old coin roll or inherited from a relative. It's like uncovering buried treasure, a tangible piece of American history with immense monetary and sentimental worth. And now, we arrive at the heart-stopping part of this story. Among the millions of Illinois quarters produced, one particular specimen, preserved in breathtaking condition and possessing extraordinary rarity, has stunned the numismatic world. This single coin, graded at the absolute peak of perfection and carrying unique characteristics, has reached a valuation that seems almost unbelievable. Today, in 2025, the value of the most exceptional 2003 Illinois quarter dollar has soared to an astounding $22 million. Yes, you heard that right. What was once a simple quarter worth 25 cents is now valued at $22 million. This staggering figure is not merely about metal or rarity. It is about the convergence of history, symbolism, condition, and demand. It is about collectors' passion meeting a piece of America's story that cannot be replicated. Top 3. The quarter dollar of 2022 stands out not just as a piece of currency, but as a symbol of history, art, and national identity. When you hold this coin in your hand, you are not simply looking at a small piece of metal, you are holding centuries of heritage, craftsmanship, and a reflection of America's values. The quarter dollar has long been a staple in pockets, purses, and collections, but the 2022 issue has managed to attract worldwide attention for reasons that go far beyond its role in everyday commerce. To truly appreciate the 2022 quarter dollar, we must first step back into history. The quarter has been an essential part of American currency since the early days of the Republic. Introduced after the Mint Act of 1792 established the nation's coinage system. For generations, it has carried designs that captured the spirit of the nation, whether it was the enduring portrait of George Washington introduced in 1932, or the State Quarters program launched in 1999 that captivated millions of collectors and brought new energy into numismatics. Each redesign has carried with it a message about who America is, what it values, and how it wants to be remembered. By 2022, the quarter had become more than just a coin. It was a storytelling device, a miniature canvas that carried powerful imagery to the world. The 2022 quarter dollar was minted under the American Women Quarters program, a bold initiative that honored women whose contributions shaped American history and culture. For decades, coins often showcased founding fathers, presidents, and symbols of power. But this new series represented a profound shift. It was about inclusion, recognition, and telling stories that had been overlooked for far too long. On the obverse side of the 2022 quarter, collectors were greeted by a fresh portrait of George Washington. Sculpted by Laura Garden Fraser, one of the most talented artists of her time, this design had actually been created back in 1931 as part of the original competition to redesign the quarter for Washington's bicentennial. Though her design had been rejected in favor of John Flanagan's version, Fraser's work was admired for its classical beauty and strength. In 2022, after nearly a century of waiting, her Washington portrait finally appeared on the nation's coinage, giving this quarter a powerful link to both history and progress. Turning the coin over to the reverse side, we see the magic of storytelling at work. The 2022 quarters featured a lineup of extraordinary women: Maya Angelou, a writer, poet, and civil rights activist whose words inspired generations; Dr. Sally Ride, the first American woman in space, who became a symbol of courage and curiosity; Wilma Mankiller, the first female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, who led with strength and vision; Nina Otero Warren, a leader in New Mexico's suffrage movement and advocate for education; and Anna May Wong, the first Chinese-American film star in Hollywood, who broke barriers and redefined representation on screen. Each coin carried its own unique imagery, masterfully designed to highlight these women's achievements, and together they formed a series that was unlike anything seen before in American numismatics. Holding just one of these coins was like holding a slice of history, a reminder of progress, and a spark of inspiration for the future. Now, the story of any coin is not complete without understanding how it was made. The 2022 quarters were struck at the nation's three major mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint mark tells its own tale. Coins from Philadelphia bore the familiar P mint mark, Denver coins proudly carried the D, and the San Francisco issues featured an S. But beyond these circulating coins, collectors were also drawn to the special proofs and silver proof sets, carefully struck with polished dies and made for presentation rather than commerce. These coins shimmered with a level of detail that made them instantly desirable for anyone with an eye for beauty and rarity. The minting process itself is a marvel: blank planchets cut from metal strips, polished dies engraved with precision, and presses that strike each coin with tremendous force, capturing every detail from Washington's hair to the feathers of an eagle, or in this case, the symbolic images of inspiring women. What emerges is not just currency, but art in miniature. Collectors immediately recognized the importance of the 2022 quarters. While millions were produced for circulation, not every coin was equal. Some bore errors, tiny mistakes made during the minting process that transformed ordinary coins into extraordinary rarities. Misstrikes, double dies, and off-center impressions became the talk of the collecting community, as they often do, because error coins carry values that far exceed their face value. A coin worth only 25 cents in the supermarket could suddenly become worth thousands in the auction house. Imagine the thrill of finding such a coin in your change, an unnoticed treasure hiding in plain sight. And yet, this is what makes coin collecting such an adventure: the possibility of discovery, the excitement of history in your hand, and the pursuit of beauty and rarity. But the allure of the 2022 quarter does not stop with its design or its errors. There is a deeper cultural significance. For decades, coinage has played a quiet but powerful role in education, serving as an everyday reminder of the people and events that shaped a nation. When a child holds a 2022 quarter with Maya Angelou's figure soaring with a bird, that child is introduced to her legacy. When someone sees Sally Ride gazing into space, they are reminded of the endless possibilities of science and exploration. Each coin becomes a classroom without walls, teaching history, culture, and values to anyone willing to look closely. This is the beauty of the quarter. It is both common and extraordinary, both ordinary money and priceless heritage. The journey of this coin also tells us something about America itself. The choice to honor women in this way reflects a shift toward inclusivity, toward telling the full story of the nation rather than only a partial one. It shows that progress is not just about technology or wealth, but about recognition and justice. In this sense, the 2022 quarter dollar is not merely a coin but a statement, a declaration that history belongs to all of us, and that the stories of women are just as central to the American narrative as those of men. That symbolic power adds an invisible but undeniable layer of value to the coin, one that goes far beyond metal or minting. For collectors, value is always an essential question. What makes one coin worth more than another? It is a combination of factors: rarity, condition, demand, and historical importance. The 2022 quarter checks all of these boxes. Its limited special issues are rare. Its pristine proof coins are in high demand. Its historical significance is undeniable. And its role in honoring groundbreaking women ensures that demand will remain strong for years to come. Over time, these coins have become prized possessions not only in the United States but around the globe, as collectors from every nation seek to own a piece of this remarkable series. The excitement has spread far beyond the numismatic community, capturing the attention of history enthusiasts, art lovers, and everyday people who simply appreciate the beauty of holding history in their hand. The market for rare coins has always been unpredictable, shaped by trends, discoveries, and the passion of collectors. Yet certain coins rise above the rest, becoming legendary in their own time. The 2022 quarter has already begun to carve its place among these legends. While most examples will forever be worth only a fraction above their face value, there are extraordinary specimens, rare errors, special proof strikes, and unique finds that have astonished collectors and auction houses alike. These coins, in pristine condition and of great rarity, have reached staggering prices, creating headlines and fueling even more excitement around the series. The story of this coin is not only about history, design, or symbolism. It is also about value, about how something so small can become so priceless. And now we arrive at the moment you have been waiting for, the revelation of just how valuable the most extraordinary 2022 quarter dollar has become. Imagine a simple piece of metal, only 25 cents in value when it leaves the mint, rising to a level so astonishing that it commands millions at auction. This is no exaggeration. The rarest and most pristine examples of the 2022 quarter dollar, those with unmatched rarity and historical importance, have reached an unbelievable value of $8 million. That's right, $8 million for a coin that most people might overlook in their daily change. It is a breathtaking figure, one that captures the magic of numismatics, where art, history, and rarity converge to create something truly priceless.